Hey there, everybody. Purpose of this video is to get you some solutions to this prisoner problem quiz with the marbles and the emperor and the trying not to die thing. I had forgotten. I should have linked a spreadsheet with this to the schedule page, but you know what? You don't need it to do the quiz, so we're just going to go ahead and crack this thing out. I'm trying to make it bigger, but it's not going to let me do it, so I'm going to do it that way. Oh, there we go. That's a little better. Okay. So I'm not going to read this to you because you can read. But I will go through the questions with you. Let's shoot from the hip. What's your original gut feeling? So I'll tell you what I read. I just graded all your quizzes. And of the 15 or 20 or so of you that did this quiz, most of you said put all the white marbles in one bowl and all the white marbles in the other, or half and half in each. But everybody in the first hit, except for one person, put 10 marbles in each bowl, which is totally fine. Based on the arrangement, what's the chance that you will live? And almost everybody said 50%, which is exactly correct based on those arrangements, except for that one person. We'll get back to that one person in a second. And then number 3, I kind of skipped over number 3. We didn't talk much about what the meaning of that percentage was in class this week, so whatever you put was fine. The real meaning of what a 50% chance means is that half the time, if you're a prisoner arranging your marbles that way, you will live, and half the time you will die. We'll talk more about that next week, all week. Actually, it's all we're going to be doing next week is talking about the idea of what it means to have a chance and what that chance means. So, okay, so, and we talked through blah, blah, tree diagram, blah, blah, tree diagram, and I'm going to copy and paste this tree diagram in a second. Okay, so eventually we get down and I show you how these things break. Lots of reading in this quiz, which I'm sure you dealt with when you did it. Okay, so now I said the chance of winning is 50%. So what we went through what happens if you put, all the white ones in one bowl, all the black ones in the other. What if you go half and half? So what I said, what if you put 9 white marbles in bowl 1 and the rest in bowl 2? What would your chance be then? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be a little bit shady, and I'm going to copy and paste all of this into Paint, and we're going to see how everything changes. Okay, so we're going to be a little bit budge here. All right. So what we're going to do now is we are going to put 9 white marbles in bowl 1 and 11 total marbles, all black and 1 white down here. Now, see these 50% right here? Let me zoom in a little tiny bit. Okay, these 50% right here are still 50-50. You still are guessing which bowl you're choosing. So those aren't going to change, 50%. What is going to change are these right here. Bowl 1 is now going to have, let's see what this font looks like. It's going to have 9 white in it. That's not bad. And bowl 2 is going to have 10 black and 1 white in it. So we still got 20 marbles, but we're splitting them. We're splitting them unevenly now. Okay, so now what color marble do you choose from that bowl? Okay, so over here, if you have 9 white marbles and you happen to get into that bowl, you have a 100% chance of getting a white marble. I mean, if you were fortunate enough to get into that bowl, you're going to grab a white marble, which means you have a 100% chance of grabbing it, but you only do that half the time. So it's 50% of 100%. Which would again be 50%, and we'll update. Well, we won't update anything. It's going to be correct down here. That stays 50. Similarly, this stays 0. This doesn't change at all. It still stays 0% because there's still no chance of getting a black marble out of that bowl. The interesting stuff happens when you get over to this bowl. So bowl 2 has 10 black and 1 white, which means it's no longer a 0% chance of getting a white marble. It's a 1 out of 11 chance, which is a 9% chance of getting a white marble, which means there's no longer a 100% chance of getting a black marble. There is a 91%. I'm rounding these off. Hope that's okay. Okay. So now what gets interesting is the chance. It's not that there's no white marbles in the bowl. It's not that this one can't ever happen. The chance of this happening is no longer 0, it's half of 9%, which is now 4.5% of the time. It's going to look a little bit ghetto, and I apologize for that here. This is now going to be 4.5% of the time. And then this one has to be less than 50% because we've got the same number of marbles, sure, but the problem is that it's only a 91% chance, not a 100% chance. And half of 91%, if I'm doing it correctly, is not 50. It's going to be, let's see, half of 90 is 45, so it'll be 45 and a half. 45.5%. Okay? So the chance of living is now the two green boxes added up. And green boxes added up is 54.5%. So in other words, looking back at the quiz, this last arrangement, you had a 50% chance of living. But now, by the arrangement of the marbles, you've got a 54.5% chance. And all you did was you moved one marble into the other bowl. One white marble, for that matter. Now, what I wanted you to do at that point was, well, you can read what I said here. What would be the optimal arrangement of marbles? Well, here's what I want you to think about for this one before I give you the answer. I'll give you the answer because this is a solution video. But think about this. To get from this to the slightly more optimal solution, we simply took one white marble out of this bowl and put it here. That still left this bowl with all white marbles in it. Which means this is not going to change up here. This will always be 50% of 100. So this is always 50% chance of living. If you take two white marbles out of this bowl and put it down here, this is still going to be 50% up here. But what just happened is you doubled the chance of this. Instead of being 9%, it now becomes 18%. And the chance of dying goes down. So what you're doing by moving white marbles out of this bowl to this bowl is increasing the chance that you live in this bowl, but not changing the chance that you live in this bowl. Now, what you don't want to do is take all the marbles out of here and put it down here. Then you've got a 0% chance of living in this bowl and a 50% chance of living in this bowl, but leave one right here. Leave one white marble right here. This is still going to be 50%, and now this is going to be essentially, it's almost 50-50 on this bowl too, which means it's 25-75. It's not quite 25. It ends up mathematically, I think, being like 23%. We can actually run the math on that one. We can run it right here. So in this case, we're going to change it. We're going to leave only one white marble here. And then down here, we're going to take the 10 black that are there and leave them there, but put 9 white marbles here. All right. Sorry for the ghetto there. Again, this doesn't change. This is still going to be 50. That's still going to be 50. The change is, what is 9 out of 19? Now, that's the thing I think I can't do in my head. I'll do it over here. I want to get some precision here. 9 divided by 19 is 47%. So there's now a 47% chance. Here, I'll draw that here. 47%. Oh, it's a little, sorry. I should have probably erased the first one. So this is 47%. Now, that means this is 53, but I don't even need to worry about that branch, because that branch is the chance of dying. I'm interested in the chance of living. I need to do half of 47, and half of 47, if I did my math in my head correctly earlier, is 23, and, oops, I gotta delete that first, don't I? Is going to be 23.5%. So you got a 50% chance of living in the first bowl, and then you've got an additional 23.5% chance living in the second. That means you've got a 50 plus 23.5. That's 73.5% chance of living. And that, my friends, is the optimum way to arrange the marbles. There's still a chance you're gonna die. There's still a chance you're gonna pull a black marble, but it has shrunken by a magnificent third, from 50% down to about 25%, or actually more than it's shrunk by a half, excuse me, from 50% to 25%. So there you go. That's how you attack that quiz. I hope it made sense, and we'll catch you in class. I'll have some follow-up quizzes to this one next week. And I'm sorry that I didn't have the spreadsheet for this one. I said, again, you can test your math with the spreadsheet, but as you can see, you don't need the spreadsheet to test it. You can totally just do the math like I did up here in the tree diagrams. All right, we'll see you in class, and we'll have some more. Here they are down here. We'll do some follow-up quizzes next week. All right, see ya.